Hi everyone, and welcome to this Masterclass with Mindvalley. I'm Vishnu Lakiani, the founder of Mindvalley, and your host today. Today we're going to be talking about a really powerful idea that many of us in the Western hemispheres of planet Earth may not yet be fully aware of. But if you go to the East, to places like China or Taiwan or Hong Kong or Singapore, this is a fundamental part of how people build businesses, of how families create their homes. It's called Feng Shui. Feng Shui is based on the idea, according to Marie Diamond, that about 1/3 of what we are seeking to attract into our life has not got to do with yourself and your soul and your mind, but with the energy of the spaces around you. This means that if you're facing some stagnation in some dimension of your life, it could be relationships or health or business or money, you might want to look at the concept of Feng Shui and how the spaces around you could be affecting or limiting your growth in that area. Now, today we know that everything is energy, that there's this energy flowing across the entire world. There's energy flowing across our body, whether you call them ley lines or meridians or chi. Our world is not just physical, our world is also part energy. And Feng Shui is the art of harnessing this energy to create better results in every area of your life. Now, when it comes to learning Feng Shui, one of the teachers that I have the greatest respect for is the Feng Shui master Marie Diamond, who's going to be joining us shortly. And let me tell you why you want to pay attention to what Marie is going to share with you today. Marie was a gifted healer from the time she was a little kid, and shortly she's going to tell you her story. Today she's the Feng Shui master that advises some of the most incredible individuals on planet Earth. Her clients include billionaires and A-list celebrities who are doing incredible work in the world, including the Rolling Stones, Steven Spielberg, Paula Abdul, Dan Aykroyd, John Gray, Marianne Williamson, CEOs and top leaders in global companies like Nikken, Herbalife, It Works, Forever Young, and she travels across the world advising some of the world's biggest minds on how to apply Feng Shui to help their businesses grow and to help their lives expand. I became a believer, although I was a little bit skeptical at first. I wondered, is Feng Shui real, or was this just a Chinese cultural belief that people had trouble letting go of? But then I met Marie Diamond. Now, when I met Marie, I was going through a period of stagnation in my life and my business. And Marie sat me down and she said, Vishen, I want you to make these changes to your office. I literally went back. It was August 2016. And I flipped my desk around. My desk was facing in one direction. I flipped it to face a different direction. Now, prior to that, that particular business had gone through 7 straight months where we were losing money. We were losing 100 grand a month. The business just wasn't profitable. As soon as I followed Marie's advice and I shifted my desk and I shifted the position of my bookshelf and I shifted the position of my vision board, in 1 month, the business made enough money to pay off those 7 months of debt. In 1 month, everything transformed. Now, can I attribute it directly to Feng Shui? I don't know. All I know is the change happened when I made that shift. Then I went to my wife, and my wife also had a business, and that too was going through some period of stagnation. I made her and her CEO switch their desk positions. So she went and sat where the CEO was sitting. The CEO went and sat where she was sitting. And again, in 1 month, huge elevation in that business. So I decided to start exploring Feng Shui and applying it to other dimensions of my life. After all, if this is real, this could be one of the most powerful tools we could bring in to elevate all the dimensions of our life. Before I bring on Marie, I want you to know this. We have a bonus in this webinar. Before the end of it, Marie is going to guide you into a unique meditation to help you become aware of the Feng Shui of your environment. So stay till the end. And so with that, let me bring onto the set the incredible, the brilliant Marie Diamond. Marie, welcome to Mindvalley.
Thank you so much, Vishen. So happy to be here.
So one of the things I'd love for you to share before we get into the techniques to bring Feng Shui into someone's life is your amazing story of how you discovered these abilities within yourself.
So I'm so happy to be here with you, Vishen, and so happy to be with you here. And my story actually started, I'm born in Belgium, and I started as a regular child, but I was not so regular. I actually started seeing energy from very early age on, the energy of chakras and aura fields and the energy of homes. And it was so interesting that I thought everybody had this ability, of course, because that was my experience. And so I was telling people what was going on in their life in my own way, and people were very surprised about the things I shared with them. And then around when I was 7, I actually had a major thing happening in my life. My spiritual master appeared. So he was an ascended master, and he came into my playroom actually, and appeared and started sharing with me how to direct the energy, how to work with colors. And as I was doing that, my life started shifting. And he asked me, first of all, to make sure I was designing my life. And he actually asked me to draw my life, what I wanted out of life, with 5 colors. And the colors were violet and yellow and light blue and citrus green and rose. I mean, colors I would normally not really use for painting. And I was drawing my life, and I was actually creating almost like a vision board.
So you were drawing this on a paper?
Yeah, on a paper.
And you were 7 years old?
I was 7 years old.
And this ascendant master was a being, like a spiritual entity that you would see in real life before you, in dreams?
No, it was really in real life. Like you and I are sitting like this, he would sit there, he would come in and he would disappear. So it was for me very real and very physical.
I see.
And so every day I would draw the same picture. And I would say, nothing really happened because I was just drawing something very generally, like having a happy life. But then the next phase was when I was 15. I was actually in an accident and a truck ran over me. And I actually was declared dead. And so they resuscitated me. And when I was in that coma state, I actually went to the other side. And when I was there, I was seeing all these beings of light. And when I was there, my master also was in that vision that I had. And he said, you have to go back because you have to enlighten more than 500 million people. So I came back and in the hospital, and everybody was just very happy to see me.
You came back from the dead?
I came back from the dead.
From being clinically diagnosed as being deceased?
Being deceased. And so I was in a deep coma. But what happened is, through the accident, my face was ripped off. So I had no skin anymore on my face.
Because the truck ran over you, and these, I guess, were on the cobblestone streets of
Yes, so I actually
Belgium.
was pushed into all pebbles, and I flew almost in the pebbles. Right. And so everything was ripped off. And so they decided to do some plastic surgery, and I said to my mom, no way. I'm going to heal myself. Now, I had no idea I even could do that. So I asked my mom, please, wait with the operation. And I just put for 2 weeks just my hands on my face. And I just said, I'm healed. And 2 weeks later, my skin totally had returned. So I knew then I had some abilities to work with energy. Not just that I could draw and manifest things, but I also really had an ability to work with the energy. Now, after that accident, I was not in a good place. I actually had lost quite a lot of my short-term memory, like 80%. So I couldn't study anymore. So from being a top student in mathematics, I suddenly couldn't memorize anything anymore. And so I was quite depressed, and I asked my spiritual teacher the next time he appeared, what did I do wrong? I mean, I've used my mind, right? I've used my energy, and I still attracted to be in this place where I cannot memorize things, I cannot study, but also other things were happening in my life. I was very lonely, I was bullied at school, sometimes beaten up, so I was really not in such a good place. And he said, well, Marie, you have bad Feng Shui. And I'm like, what is that, Feng Shui? And he said, well, it actually is how your environment is influencing your good luck. Now, I didn't feel like I was very lucky having that accident, right?
Because you had brain injury.
Yeah, brain injury.
Loss of short-term memory.
And so I said, well, what do I do? And he said, well, you need to move out of this bedroom. Now, I was all for that because I hated that bedroom. It was the bedroom I had received from my sister. I mean, in that time, people didn't renovate, so there was still the same wallpaper from 30 years ago, right? The same pictures that my sister hanged out, and they were all models. And I was like a model. I mean, not physically, but definitely like a model in life. I was focusing on my studies. I was a role model for the teenagers around me. I was definitely a good girl, right? But I didn't have any fun. I didn't have any relationships around me except my parents and my siblings. So what I did, I moved into another part of the house. And I went to the room that my brothers always lived in, and they were already out of the house, and they always had fun. They had always a lot of friends over. So their life was, really great. And so I moved there, and I painted in a color that my teacher said was really good for me. It was orange and white. And so I painted it, and I started painting my own images. So the things I wanted in life, like romance and success. So I just drew these things because posters at that time didn't really exist, right? So I put everything there. I positioned myself, making sure I was facing a good direction because he told me already my good directions for me. And so I put that in place, and literally within 2 weeks, my life shifted. Suddenly the people that were bullying me were really nice to me, and they started being friends with me. And then I attracted my first love, who was a great looking guy. And so, even the girls in my school were even more interested in me because I had a great guy, right? So, but, joy came back in my life from being really depressed. If I look back at my life, being a good student, I was still depressed.
And you found that these shifts happen with the shift of the room.
Yes, because I didn't do anything else.
Right. Now, what I like about that story as well, Marie, is that, so what you got to understand is that Marie has these unique abilities that she was born with. From the time she was a child, she could see what we might call spirits or entities. She was highly intuitive. But wisdom often comes in different layers of unfolding. It seems that your ascendant master, this spiritual entity that was advising you, started by getting you at 7 years old to understand the impact of your mind, how to draw and how to visualize. And then it seemed that you had that accident, a moment of pain that leads to another awakening, and this was you learning how to heal yourself and the power of your mind over your body. And then your third unfolding, and maybe some of you are about to get that third unfolding, is understanding that it's not just your mind, it's not just your ability to heal, it is the space around you. And that was Marie's next awakening at the age of 15. So I wish I had awakened to that much sooner. I awakened to it when you pointed it out to me. I was in my 40s then. But pay attention to what could be your next unfolding in terms of your awareness of your own ability to influence the world. And that is now understanding how space, how Feng Shui plays that part in your life. Marie?
Within a month, I already was in London studying with other people and understanding how amazing that was. But I always wanted to work with a master because I had a spiritual master, right? So I wanted to work with the top Feng Shui master that would bring spirit and that would bring energy and spiritual energy together with Feng Shui. And so I was actually traveling in America at that time with my husband, and I had this dream. And I saw this master, Chinese master, appear, and he was kind of observing me and looking at my energy, and he was like, and he was like satisfied with the level of energy I had, apparently. And then I knew, I recognized him, that he was one of the grandmasters of Feng Shui. So I actually contacted the next day his office and said, apparently I'm ready to study with him.
So this guy that you were seeing in your dream was a real life Chinese master who was touring America teaching Feng Shui.
Yeah. Well, at that point, he had never been to America. So he was always in Asia and Malaysia, actually, at that time. So I contacted his office the next day and I said, is he traveling? Can I meet with him? He said, well, he's actually tomorrow in LA. So I was in Santa Barbara, so it's just an hour driving, right? So I said, well, can I go there? I said, well, you need at least 10 years waiting to study with him. And I said, well, I'm here now. And he said, well, we'll check in with him. So they passed on my name, and he said, yes, she can come tomorrow. So when I then came to his class, and most people had been waiting for many years to be with him, I was actually invited the next day. Wow. And he said, and he recognized me, immediately told me some things about myself, and he said, yes, you will be one of my students that I'm going to guide and become a master. And so he actually then taught me all the deep information, the more advanced information about Feng Shui. And he explained to me something was really, really important that just stuck to me from that moment. And he talked about the law of attraction and how there were 3 parts to the law of attraction, and that most people are using 1/3 of the law of attraction through meditation, through prayer. We call that the heavenly luck. And then there are other people that are using another 1/3 of the law of attraction by using the mind. And I knew I had been practicing that, right? And I had been practicing meditation and prayer since my early age. So I knew I was using these 2/3 already. But he said Feng Shui is actually the 1/3 that most people are not aware of. And that just was the biggest aha moment for me. I thought, like, that's exactly what I've been missing out on when I was 15. And I started practicing some of that basic information. But then from that moment on, I was so committed to know the full extent of that 33%.
So the great idea there, the insight, is that 1/3 of what you experience in life is your destiny, yes, or what the Chinese call heavenly luck.
Yes.
1/3 is what you're creating with your mind, and this is where things such as the law of attraction come into play. But there's that 3rd aspect, which according to this Feng Shui master has to do with earth luck, or the energy of spaces. And so the concept of Feng Shui is to put all 3 together.
It is. It's an alignment, you know, it's an alignment between heaven and earth. And so everything that's around you, your space, your images, your colors, the way you position yourself, it influences your subconscious mind. And because of that, it will create different thoughts and feelings and actions. And ultimately, it will redirect your destiny. So that's actually how my Feng Shui career started, my journey into exploring into Feng Shui and sharing it with millions of people.
And today, you are one of the most recognized Feng Shui masters in the West.
Yeah.
So one of the things I want you to know about Marie is that she has got an incredible client base. I know the traditional idea of a Feng Shui master is a man from the East. Marie is a woman from the West. And I think that gives her a unique perspective in bringing this wisdom from the East to people all across the world. These are some of the things people have said about working with Marie Diamond. John Gray, the famous author who sold some 50 million books on the Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus series, said, "I want to thank you, Marie Diamond. Your Feng Shui has made such a big impact on my marriage, on my family, and on my business." The famous Jack Canfield, who wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul book series, said, "We saw an immediate improvement in our business after our first consultation with Marie." Dame D.C. Cordova said, "Since Marie came into my business, my home, to do her wonderful work, we have been filmed for a television program to be seen by 200 million people in China, and my romantic life has gone through the roof." Alexandria Hilton, the CEO of the Euros Global Leadership Group, said, "My income tripled." And those are just some of the incredible things that Marie's clients have said about her. Keep in mind that this is the woman who advises Steven Spielberg and the Rolling Stones on how to bring Feng Shui into their life. In fact, funny story about Marie, we were filming in LA about around 3 months back, and she told me, "Vishen, we have to be done by 5. We have to be done by 5. I'm like, "Why, Marie? Why 5? She's like, "I have to head over to Steven Spielberg's home. I can't keep Steven Spielberg waiting." So now let's come to the 5 powerful ways, and pay attention to this because this will give you a method to directly today bring Feng Shui into your life. And stay till the end because Marie's going to guide you into a meditation to help you become aware of the Feng Shui of your environment. Marie, back to you.
So the first step I really want to give you is what we call the power position. So in every place you are sitting or sleeping or working, it's always important to make sure you see the door. So when you see the door vision, you actually create opportunities. It's like when people come in, you want to see them. So if your desk or if your sofa is so positioned that you're sitting with your back to the incoming energy, you're actually closing off the opportunities of life. It's always like God comes in through people. The universe uses people. But if your back is towards it, you're actually narrowing down the opportunities, the possibilities that you have in life. So that's the first thing. Wherever you are, very easily turn your desk, turn your sofa around so that you see the incoming flow. I always say money comes with people, but if you're, for example, facing the window and you love the view, and people say, yes, but I want to see this, and said, yes, but money doesn't come through the window, because the people that come through the window take away the money, right? So they are the thieves. So always make sure your back is supported. So supported, it means that you have no emptiness behind you. So that's why you need to see the door, so you have space in front of you, space to receive.
So this means a good feng shui position is to have your desk facing the door.
Yes.
And I also know that there is a formula based on your year of birth that you teach in your program with Mind Valley, yes, that suggests which direction the door and the desk should be facing.
Correct. So the first rule is a power position, and then we make sure it's more personalized. And it's based on your birthday. There are certain directions that are stronger than others for you.
And this was essentially the shift I made, yeah, to my desk. I changed my desk around. Now I was using not just the door, but I was using the specific position based on my birthday. Now, if you want to go deeper in that, that is in the Marie Diamond program that we have at Mind Valley.
So that reshifting, that redirecting of the energy opens actually your mind. So we actually see that if people are in the wrong direction, it's like their mind shuts down and they're not concentrating very well. So when you're in the right direction, your mind opens up. And then you see the possibilities, you see solutions. You also have more joy in your life. It's like even your whole body aligns with that.
So if you walk into the office of any business tycoon in Asia, and now increasingly so in America, you'll notice something. Their desk is facing the door. But the second ingredient is the position of that door has to do with a particular direction. So there are 8 different directions on the compass, a particular direction that aligns with their birth number, correct?
And so it's all about being a king or a queen in your life. So when you are sitting in a power position, your business will grow, your purpose manifests, because you are saying to yourself, I accept to be completely in alignment with the universe.
Fantastic. So that is idea number 1. Now, the first thing is make sure you're facing the door. If you want to go deeper to identify exactly where that door and where that desk should be, you need to understand the concept of the birth number, and that is in the Marie Diamond program, which we'll talk about later. Now next, decluttering. Tell us about that.
Well, it's again about creating space. A lot of people think, I want to be successful, I want to have romance, I want all great things in my life. But when you look around them, it's all chaos. So chaos of too many books, too much material around them. So the first rule is always to open up the space, and that is by using, the technique of decluttering. I always suggest to people at least to declutter 10 to 25% of whatever is around you, because everything that's around you influences you non-stop 24 hours a day. And so if you feel like it's so hard to concentrate, you're overwhelmed, you're tired, it's perhaps because there's too much stuff around you. So make it more zen, declutter the energy, and the more space you have for your energy to flow, the more good things can come to you.
So tell us about decluttering. You had a story about a client of yours and scriptures in the bedroom. I found that fascinating when you were telling me about that once over coffee. Would you share that?
Yeah. So I had this client, and this client really wanted romance, wanted good things happening in his life. But there were a lot of scriptures around him, a lot of spiritual images also. And I said, well, this is wonderful for your spirituality, for your spiritual wisdom. But, this looks like, to be honest, a monastery. You know, all these scriptures, this is like a temple. So in a temple, people don't focus on business, they don't focus on romance, they focus on their inner journey and their journey with God in the universe. So I said, you know, let's take that away. Let's give it to a place, let's bring it to a place in your home where you want to focus on that. And as we declutter that, because there was so much of it, then there was space that opened up for romance and to think about business. So it was a huge shift that happened in that person's life.
And so what you're saying is that it's not just about decluttering, it is the essence of the energy of the objects in your space. If you're seeking romance, don't put too many, and you're literally saying don't put too many images of biblical verses or scriptures or holy books in your room. Keep that for a space where you would meditate.
Correct. But like, think about the images. People love angels, for example, or saints around them. But I said, that's great, but that is, you know, too much. You have to balance things in life. If you are in a bedroom, you want romantic images.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want spiritual images. Unless, of course, that's the direction you want to go.
I see. So keep romantic imagery for your bedroom. Keep spiritual imagery for your meditation space.
Yes.
And what would be the types of things that you would place in an office?
Well, in an office, I would definitely not put too much family images, but images connected with your business. So images of your products, books on success, certificates that you have, logos that you have of your company,
right.
Because you want to focus on that area of your life. So in your office, don't focus on your social life. Don't focus on your you know, golf or your sports, but just focus on what you're here for in that space. So every space has to have its own dynamic. And so if you bring too much you know, energy in from your social life, then you will just like try to run out of that office to go to be with your family. But you know, you need your time to work.
Now the other thing I wanted to ask you, Marie, is when we were filming the Marie Diamond Mind Valley program in LA, we had this incredible Airbnb that we were using. And in the bedroom, there was a picture of a horse. And you pointed out that that wasn't necessarily the best thing to put in the bedroom. Explain that.
Well, think about, there was a huge painting of a horse. I mean, it was like, you know, 3 meters on 4 meters, was so big. So imagine the horse is really there, right? How would you feel if you would lay down and there's a horse breathing
directly
on you,
in your bedroom.
right? Would you fall asleep? Would you feel comfortable? Would you like to make love? I'm not so sure about that, right? So the decluttering is not just about the chaos. It's also looking at everything that's around you and seeing whatever is there, does that make me feel good in where I am? So that image was definitely a part of the decluttering. We moved it away because it was just too much for that room. So everything that's around you, you have to imagine it's really alive. It's really there. So how would you feel if that horse would be there?
Because your subconscious mind, to your subconscious mind, it is the imagery of a horse, which is not necessarily the most restful imagery.
Well, your subconscious mind doesn't really make a difference between an image and reality. So it actually, for the subconscious mind, it is reality.
So let's go on to idea number 3, which is the concept of adding colors.
Yeah. So too many times I see people's life are just too blank. There's no colors added to it. So colors spark life. And so there are colors that are really good for success, others for health, others for relationship, and also for inner wisdom. So in the course, we go and talk about the colors that are good for you based on your birthday. Because, you know, the colors that are good for you are different than the ones that are for me. And also not just your environment, also what you wear. So it actually will uplift your energy and harmonize and make you more aligned with what you really want to accomplish.
So can you give us any tips for the right colors for us?
So there are some general colors that are really good for abundance. Of course, gold. Yeah, think about, if you think about billionaires and millionaires, you know, you will think about the color gold. So in your office, for example, make sure there are some golden objects, or even if you have frames of people, successful people, put them in a golden frame, or certificates, put them in a golden frame, because gold stands for abundance. So whatever you place in gold, more of it will come. So there's an exponential energy to gold. Right? Now, a color for love, if you want to attract more love, is rose. Yeah, so any form of rose. And so placing rose items in your bedroom will attract more loving energy if you're single or you're already in a relationship.
Now, Marie, I remember there was another tip you gave me, which I found really interesting. It had to do with images of water in the bedroom.
Yeah. So water is an active element. It's a life force giving element. So this is good in places that are like an office or living room. But having images of water in a bedroom actually creates the opposite. Because especially if you hang images of water above your headboard, it's like you're laying down and the water is on your head. You're actually drowning. So you have to be careful about that. And if you have water images around you, you'll also, at night, you will wake up more drained in the morning, and you will also be more emotional in your relationship and create more conflict. So make sure you have no water images in your bedroom. Remove them and place them in places like the office or the living room, but never in the bedroom.
I see, I see. Now, Marie, one of the things I've always wondered about Feng Shui is mirrors. I see these as a key part of Feng Shui, a particular type of mirror and the placement of mirrors in the house. Let's talk about that, which is point number 4.
Well, mirrors are doubling the energy. They're doubling the space. They're doubling what they see. So the first rule is you cannot have mirrors in your bedroom reflecting your bed, because then you're doubling the bed and you're doubling the stress that you come in your bed with.
You're doubling your need for sleep.
Yeah, you're doubling your need for sleep, but also you're doubling the people that are in the bedroom. So if you're single, you're actually already saying there's already another person. So you will not attract romance.
I see.
So when you're with 2 already in the bed, you're actually saying, well,
there are multiple choices.
There are multiple choices, right? You have more a roving eye possibility. So a bedroom, I always say to people, make sure you cover the mirrors. And also a TV is actually, when it's a reflective glass, is also considered a mirror. So you have to cover the mirror at night. Now, the best places is where there's active energy happening. So, for example, at the dining room, when you're eating, when you have a mirror doubling the food, you're actually saying to the universe, more food can come in, more income stream can come in to have me more food on the table. So you can also place it in hallways that are very small to open up the space. But always be aware, when you have a mirror hanging out, what does it double? If it doubles the kitchen, that's not a good thing, because you double the fire and the sink. If you double, for example, a staircase, that's not good, because you're creating split energy. So always think about, what is my mirror doubling? And does that feel good?
So in the case of a business, where would you place a mirror?
Well, I would definitely, when you come into an entrance of the business, I would put it on one of the walls, not opposite the door, because if you have it opposite the door, you say to the clients, get back out.
Right.
Right? So left or right of the entrance, and then anyone that comes in, you're doubling them. So you have more clients coming in.
Now we come to the final idea, which is removing sharp edges, such as cactus, arrows, pointed objects. Let's talk about that.
So you always want in Feng Shui things that are curvy, that are round and oval, because it creates more harmony. And so when you have sharp edges, like cactuses, like plants with leaves that are very sharp, it actually affects your aura field. And it affects, first of all, the aura field of the house. So everything becomes on edge, becomes sharp. And so people will have more conflicts happening when they have plants around them that have sharp leaves, or cactuses. So these are things you can place outside or in a place that you don't live, sleep, or work. You can, of course, place plants, but plants that have rounder leaves or feel like in total very round, like the whole concept is round. Also, anything that is sharp pointed at you, even furniture, can actually make you feel that you don't want to sit there so long. Like, let's say I'm sitting here and there would be like a cabinet on a sharp edge towards me.
Right.
After a while, I would feel uncomfortable and leave that place. So you want everything around you to be in harmony, and leaving and letting go of sharp edges is one of these harmonious systems you can use.
I see. Those are beautiful tips. So those are 5 areas you can directly apply Feng Shui into your life today. Now, many of you might want to go further, and for that, we have a very unique program with Marie Diamond. It is Feng Shui for Life. Over a series of 8 weeks, we'll give you training week by week on Feng Shui. You're investing about an hour a week, and every week you will make adjustments to your home and your business and your life. And at the end of 2 months, at the end of 8 weeks, you dramatically transform your spaces based on Feng Shui principles, but you also learn Feng Shui. Directly below this video, you'll see some information on the program, and you can enroll. And remember, any program at Mind Valley, you can enroll into the program and go all the way 10 days into the program. And if you're not satisfied at all in any way, shoot one email to support@mindvalley.com, and our award-winning customer support will give you a full refund. So check that out. Now, what we want to do, Marie, is also give the people who tuned in a special bonus. Now, we want to give you an actual Feng Shui meditation right now, as we promised at the end of this masterclass, so that you can directly become aware of the Feng Shui around your space. And for those of you who are ready to enroll, know that you will receive tons of these meditations in the program. And when you enroll now, as a thank you for staying with us this far, we'll also give you the single best enrollment price this program will ever be available for. So you'll get an extra, we call it unlock bonus, just for staying this far with us and investing this time to get to know Marie Diamond on this masterclass. So Marie, before we start, tell us about what's going to happen in this meditation and why it's so important to do this.
Well, the meditation I'm sharing with you is called, first of all, the Tubes of Light. It's actually doing some inner Feng Shui, where are aligning you to be in harmony. Because it's really difficult to start practicing Feng Shui if within yourself you're in chaos. So I always suggest to people to do this meditation before they go into doing Feng Shui, because you cannot create harmony if you're yourself or in chaos. And so the second part of the meditation is I want you to become aware of the energy, because we're just walking in and out our house or office all the time. We're just never standing still with what is there. We feel it somehow, but we kind of override it with our mind and say, yeah, I know I need to declutter that area, or that image, yeah, it's not feeling great, but you never do something with it. So the first step is to become aware of your environment, because subconsciously you already know what is wrong, right? So just what we're doing in this meditation is aligning yourself and then going to all the major places to feel, okay, what can I change? And to feel into it. So to follow your intuition in that. Of course, Feng Shui is connected with rules and principles, but we know and we feel it already. And then you're like, oh yeah, of course, this was not good. So you can change it.
Marie, are you ready for the meditation? Let's get started.
So I invite you to sit in a relaxed position, put your feet next to each other, and put your hands on your lap, relax your body, and close your eyes. And take a deep breath in, and take a deep breath out. And as you breathe in, just become aware of the positive energy that's in the room. And allow that positive energy to come into your body. And you can do that by visualizing light. The light of the sun, the light of this room that you're in, comes into your body. And as you breathe out, you let go of the negative energy, the stress, your blockages, your limitations. You give it back to the universe. Breathe in deeply and breathe out. And really let go. And now imagine that light that you breathe in is filling your whole body from your head till your toes. And it's also filling your aura field, an arm length all around your body. And now imagine the color royal blue. It's a Feng Shui color for power and protection. So imagine as you have built up now this tube of light, white light around you, you're visualizing now this royal blue to come around you and under your feet. And call in all the power of the universe. And you can even say in yourself, I am the power of the universe. But it protects at the same time towards all the negative frequencies that are in the world. Take a deep breath in. Accept now this power in yourself. Now we're connecting with the color rose. That stands for the unconditional love and support of the universe. To create wonderful relationships in your life. So imagine now this rose light to be around you and around this royal blue energy and also under your feet. And you can even say within yourself, I am the love of the universe. And this is a moment where you can express and feel the gratitude for all the love that is given to you. From the people you know, and all the spiritual love given to you by your teachers. And then imagine the color violet, which is a color of releasing. And imagine now this color to come from under your feet, clockwise spinning, through your body and through your aura field, going up till above your head into the universe. With decluttering the deep negative energy that is perhaps still in you. And take a deep breath in, and take a deep breath out. Now imagine you have a magical hat on. And the hat is as high as an arm length above your head. And the top of your magical hat has this bright white light. And you focus on that light. Now from that point, you're now connecting in with your home. And just imagine now you're outside of your home, outside of your apartment, or outside of your office. And you're going to walk in. And as you open the door now, you come into the entrance. And I want you to become aware of what is right now in the entrance of that space. Look at the colors, look at the images, look at the carpet, and make a mental note if something just doesn't feel right. If something feels not in harmony. If you're coming into your home, do you feel successful? Do you feel abundant? So make that note and remember it when you come out of meditation. Now I want you to walk from your entrance into your living space. Come into your living space and feel if you are welcomed there. Look at what is there. Is it harmony? Is it chaos? What images are hanging out? What colors? Does it feel abundant to you? Does it feel in harmony? Or is it focused just on you? Or is it focused on family? On friends? Look to all the pictures you have there and make a mental note of the things that just doesn't feel right. And then remove and walk towards your bedroom. You open the door and you come into your bedroom. Is your bedroom relaxing? Does it feel romantic? Look at the picture above your headboard. Look at the pictures when you wake up that you see across your bed. Does it reflect harmony, relaxation, romance, passion? Just make a mental note of the things that don't feel right. And then from there, we're going to the space where you work. It can be your office, it can be that you work on your dining room. Go to that place and sit there in your meditation and feel if you're powerful. Do you see the door? What are the images that you see? How does it feel working there? Do you feel successful, abundant, or do you feel blocked, disconcentrated, struggling? Make a note of that. And now, focus again on the top of your magical hat, on that bright white light. And remember all the notes. And then take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, bring your hands together, move your hands, focus again on your body, bring your hands in front of your eyes, open your eyes, and let go of your hands.
So everyone, you just got a big taste of what Feng Shui is about. You got 5 ideas you can bring into your home and your business immediately related to Feng Shui. If you want to go deeper, I want you to understand this. General Feng Shui is powerful, but nothing compared to the Feng Shui that's personalized to you based on your unique personal energy number. This allows you to truly bring Feng Shui into your home, into your business, into your life. It's customized for you, and this is what we cover in Marie Diamond's Feng Shui for Life program here in Mind Valley. So I want to encourage you to read below this video, learn about the program, and enroll in the program with our next batch of students, which is starting soon. So Marie, let's give them an idea of what is being covered in these 8 weeks. Now, week 1, I know, is an introduction to Feng Shui. So they will learn further details from what we covered over here, but this is where they start their basic practice. What else?
Yeah, so they also will learn a little bit about the history and already how to prepare actually to go into the next weeks of the quest. So to know that they are ready and that their house is prepared for Feng Shui.
Now, week 2 is about the personal energy number.
Yes, that week is really important because you want to know what is your personal energy number, what are your directions, and to already start the first steps to change your success, your money, your health, your relationship, and your wisdom. So that is a very crucial week.
Now, week 3 gets really exciting. As I mentioned earlier, Marie Diamond is so prominent in the field. She was featured in that hit documentary, The Secret, which is on law of attraction. And The Secret popularized the idea of vision boards. Now, in week 3, you learn space Feng Shui, how to turn your home into a 3-dimensional vision board.
Yes, indeed, people are making vision boards, but they are not aware that everything around them is actually like a vision board. So which images, which colors to place in your office, in your bedroom, in your living space, so that your whole home is supporting what you want to manifest.
And in week 4, we look at your business, which also impacts your financial life and your career. What's going on in your workspace, in your office? If you feel you're stagnating at work right now, this may be just what you need for that next lift.
Yes, your office space is where the money is made. So is abundance activated? Is your recognition activated? Are you in the best position for you based on your personal energy number? That makes all the difference.
And in week 5, we go into health and healing.
So your environment is also responsible for 1/3 of your health. So we will focus on how to create more healing energy in your bedroom.
That is fantastic. And somehow it never occurred to me that that 1/3 also applied to our health.
Yes, of course. It's the 4 pillars, the 4 areas of our life: is success and money, health, relationship, and our inner wisdom.
Now, week 6 is when we go into relationships.
So yes, relationships are really important in Feng Shui. So we're going to focus on your personal relationship, romantically, family, your children, your friends, your family. But also we're going to focus on the professional relationships.
And that's week 7.
And that's week 7, yes.
So week 7 is about your professional relationships with your coworkers, with your business, with your clients.
And your team. Yeah, and also having more recognition for what you bring in the world.
And finally, we get to week 8, which is about wisdom, meditation, prayer, and learning. Tell us about that.
Yes, also the way you sit and the way you focus in the right direction, your meditation, your spiritual practices will actually enhance. And also the images that are around you when you do meditation or where you're meditating will actually enhance for 1/3 the outcome of your spiritual practice.
Fantastic. So imagine, guys, that you're about to go through that 3rd level of awakening. You've learned about the concept of the mind for manifesting, the mind for healing, and this is the concept of your mind being aligned with your space, with the energy of spaces, so that you are able to boost whatever you want to attract in all of these dimensions by 1/3. And that's often what takes people out of stagnation to pure abundance. So I'm excited to have you guys enroll in this program. Now, we have 2 special bonuses for you. One is you're going to learn about how to identify your personal energy number. That's an ebook. And the second thing is you're going to learn a concept called time-based Feng Shui activations. How to activate Feng Shui for this year for abundance and relationships based on this particular year. Some unique elements that bring in a chronological aspect to Feng Shui. Now, Marie, when you are working with high-level clients, can I just ask if someone were to bring you into their home to Feng Shui the home, what would that cost?
You want me to say that?
Yeah. But I'm guessing if you're working with the likes of the Rolling Stones and Steven Spielberg, this is probably in the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, it actually is, quite some money.
Because your client base is all the way at the top. And for most people, they can't afford that, right? And so, which is why we've made this program so affordable, so that everyone, whether you're in the United States or you're in another country, this program is something that you can dive into and bring this wisdom and understand it at a deep level and bring it into your home and your business. And also, you can try it out. You don't even have to make up your mind right now. You can enroll in this program, go all the way up to day 10, and anytime before day 10, shoot 1 email to support@mindvalley.com, get a full refund. So those of you who are enrolling, congratulations. I can't wait to see you in the program. What I want to do, for some of you who might be wondering what this looks like, is we want to answer a series of frequently asked questions about Feng Shui for life. So the first one is, how do we know if Feng Shui really works?
Well, I always say to people, when a system, an energy system is already there for thousands of years, it's about 4,000 years, that already tells that it's working, because otherwise why would people keep using it? When people that are successful are using it, the 1% of the world are using that, it also shows that it definitely works. Now, of course, everybody has to find out for himself by using some very practical steps that we're sharing in Feng Shui for Life. But I I would say everybody already knows when they declutter, for example, they feel better, right? So, or when they do renovation or redecoration, they feel better. So you already know the impact of the environment, because there are always places that you go in and you feel like, I'm never putting a foot in here anymore, because it doesn't
an energy to a space.
There's energy to a space. And there are other places that you're saying, well, I love hanging out here, right? And as you're there, you're like, yeah, I want to be here for hours. So you already know that your environment is impacting you, right? But you just have not learned the rules and the principles, how to redirect the energy. So I always say something that is ancient, that has been used for thousands of years, that is used by the wealthy and famous, it shows already that it is something that works.
And science is already understanding that across the world there are energy parts. They call them ley lines, right? And it's not just ancient China, but the Celtic tribes thousands of years ago observed ley lines as well. Stonehenge was, one theory is that Stonehenge was placed where it is to take advantage of these energy flowing across the earth. And if you were to go to Hong Kong or Singapore or these really wealthy Asian countries, Singapore right now is one of the wealthiest cities in the world. It's more expensive to live there than in New York. Likewise, Hong Kong. You find that even, and because I've met some of these men, these titans who are building these big skyscrapers, they spend millions of dollars to ensure these skyscrapers are Feng Shui compliant. So there is some powerful truth to what's going on here. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so prevalent in these amazing cities like Hong Kong or Singapore or Shanghai. Now, the second question is, Feng Shui seems complicated to me. I doubt I can just rearrange my living environment or my office completely given my busy schedule.
Well, that's why you have an 8-week program that you can go step by step in the quest to really change small things in your life. And it doesn't mean you have to change everything around you and have a renovation and a redecoration happening. It is really about readjusting small pieces, changing an image, changing your desk position. It actually is about like small impact. It's like small system. It's like small changes with huge impact. And so it's like acupuncture, what we're doing with Feng Shui. So we're putting certain things in certain places based on your birthday, and your subconscious mind changes and your conscious mind will follow. Within 9 days to 9 weeks, there's a shift happening. Sometimes by placing one item, people already feel a difference. So it's just very simple, and we make it very practical.
Right. Now this question is interesting. Feng Shui seems like an ancient Chinese belief. Does it really have a relevance in the modern Western world? And I want to try addressing this. Let's look at acupuncture. A few decades ago, acupuncture in the West, doctors didn't believe it was real, because it's practiced in China and it's based on a similar principle. Energy flows through our body, and by putting certain needles in certain points of our body, we can heal. Today, we know acupuncture is real, so real that in European countries like France, you can have your insurance company cover an acupuncture treatment. And across America, acupuncture is now a legitimate treatment for a whole manner of different things, from indigestion to back pain to cognitive disorders. Now we know it's real. And it's true about Feng Shui as well. You cannot say that this is not true because 4,000 years ago the ancient Chinese were using it. Maybe they were aware of something that only now we're starting to recognize globally.
Well, I believe that, 4,000 years ago, the shamans of the Chinese culture, what we now call Feng Shui masters, they literally could see the qi. As I was seeing when I was a child, I could see the qi flowing. And so it's not because our mind has closed off to that qi in the Western world that it's not there. So I would say when a country or a culture has practiced this information for so long, has become so successful. Think about China right now, how successful it was. But also in ancient times, it was one of the biggest empires. So there was really some truth to all this information. And I would say, why don't you just try it out, at least, right? So open yourself up to that. If you see that also very successful people in the self-help movement, they also got stuck with their mind. And then by using Feng Shui and using my consulting, their world opened up and they went to a whole other level. they also got stuck by just using the mind.
Which is why Marie Diamond was invited to join America's Transformational Leadership Council, which is a group of America's greatest spiritual teachers. And Marie was brought into that group, and she advises many of these teachers because they are all beginning to see that Feng Shui plays remarkable impact on Western spiritual teaching as well.
Correct.
Now, in the course, we learn about the personal Feng Shui number. Now, what about if you're sharing a bedroom with someone and they have a different number? How does that become compatible?
Well, first of all, you always activate 4 areas in your space. And so you will then place it and put the intention to who it's going to belong. So we have the possibility to change your bed, to change your desk. So we'll always find harmony that everybody has an activated area in the house. Now, having it perfect is not always possible, but it's always going to be better than it was before.
Perfect. Thank you for answering that. Thank you everyone for joining. Once again, a quick recap. You can learn on your mobile app, your smartphone, your Apple TV, your tablet, or even your desktop. It's compatible everywhere. And because we're so confident of this, you can go as deep as 10 days into the program, and for any reason, you can send in one email to support@mindvalley.com and get a full unconditional refund. Our team has won an award, Best Customer Support Team in all of Asia by Nice Reply. So you know we got your back. And finally, as a thank you for joining us in this masterclass, you get a special unlock price, which is the best enrollment price this program is currently available for. Thank you. And thank you, Marie, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Visha.
Any closing words?
Well, I wish that your life is abundant and successful, and I know that by using Feng Shui for life, you will be able to manifest this easier and more effortless.
Thank you all.